Alrighty. Penis. Luvion, how's it going, man? How you doing? Ditch. Attic. Damn, I thought that was good. Good, good. Good to hear. Good. How have the holidays been? Good, man. Christmas was good. Day after Christmas was very not good because I got sick. Like I had like the stomach flu or something, so I spent the whole day in bed, dog shit. After that I've been okay again, which is good. Good. I was just, thankfully I only was sick for like that day. When I got up at like 10, I felt like dog shit, and then I woke, and then I went back to bed like 18 times, and then I woke up at like 8 p.m. and I was like, I'm good now. Whatever was in my system's cleared out, so good. Hopefully, no such thing on the New Year's. We're gonna try to stay healthy. Bug, how's it going, man? How you doing? No bueno. Why? What happened? Or are you talking about me? I don't know. I can't tell. First, let's go. Oh, let's go. So F R. I was reacting to your illness. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Okay. F was do me a favor and read extra fast. I'll do my best. What would this be? For... Oh, nice. Oh, good catch, Luvion. I was gonna fuck that up. Fruit. Easy. Protein, gene, cell, tissue. Let's go. Equestrian, triathlon, trend of the times, direction of the times, course of history, tide of... Let's go. Can we get a perfect? Audi, Opel, equestrian, swimming, infinity. Oh, infinity pool, swimming pool, Opal pool, is that a thing? Mini Athletic? Equestrian? Shit, no. Oh, it's not even... Okay. Equestrian, swimming, athlete, and triathlon? Oh, so obvious. Thanks, Kami. Fuck. I thought, okay. Infinity Mini, Audi, Opel. I don't know what those. Car brand homophones? Mini. What are home? Two or more words having the same pronunciation but different meaning. Oh, I see. Oh, nice. Thanks, Kami. Okay, let's do a chess game really quickly. If we get that done in time, we'll do Lexicon. If not, Kami did ask that we read quickly, so we'll do that. Why is this motherfucker pre-moving? Oh, of course he doesn't pre-move that one, dickhead. Why would you not take it? Are you dumb? Audi sounds like Audi? Oh, true. Okay, I didn't think of that one. What up? I'm not feeling good. No worries, Chris. Feel better, buddy. You're good. Don't sweat it at all. Feel better. Something seems to be going around. I felt like bug shit a couple days ago. Hopefully it clears up quickly, at least. That's the dog shit way. He goes here. Take. It takes again. Haha, gotcha, bitch. Pinned. Started sneezing because of my allergy to cat fur today. Do you have a cat? No, you wouldn't have a cat if you're allergic to one. What am I? I'm fucking stupid. Just ignore. Here. Yeah, I went. Goes up here. Family, home. Got two cats here. I see. Bother, bro. Wishes again, I'm gonna. God, frustrating. Bitch. I go here. Like, then I do. Oh, that's so much better. Still have this. Bishop runs that diagonal now. Get. I say this, I'm gonna fucking lose, okay? I don't know why I was sneezing for years because... oh, that's gotta suck, dude. Like, my side of the family doesn't really... my side of the family... Excuse me? Sorry. Like, like, my family doesn't really have any allergies for the most part. Like, we'll be allergic to, like, the most benign bullshit, but, like, you just never come into contact with it, so it kind of doesn't matter. Whereas like my sister-in-law on the other hand is she's not super allergic to a lot of stuff, but like her sister is like has the most amount of allergies I've ever known a human to have. Like, I didn't know it was possible to have that many allergies. She's like, if it exists under the sun, she's allergic to it. It's like, what in the fuck are we talking about here? It's crazy. Oh, why didn't I see that? Why, you ask? Because I'm fucking stupid. Easy. Good. Oh, got him. Oh, so got him. And he's good. Of course, because I'm fucking stupid, because I didn't see them. It's just sneezing if I stay with them all the time. If I stay with them all day long, I see. Dude, this is so bullshit. He's literally just guarding that, like, with his fucking life. Cringe. Why are you like this? Okay, fuck. Just gonna do it. Go here. Just defend this one. Okay, we can doubly defend this and then we're okay. You have such a nice position. Now you're losing. Yeah, bro, I don't know. My brain turns off in endgames. I don't know what it is. It's okay. It's okay. We now have this doubly defended. We're okay. And he can't defend this because he has a dark light square bit. So we're okay. You just need to double push here. I don't know what that's okay. I go here, here, here. Or actually here, take to the center. Can this, and I can kind of lead ahead with it. Managing, I think. Oh. Oh, yeah. I was gonna go here, but of course he just takes. I'm stupid. No. Hold on. Let's just go back here for the moment. And then if he pushes, I can go here. And then he... Yeah, no problem. Take it. Oh, you're so cooked. Why would you bother? Here. I don't, strictly speaking, know if he's winning or I'm winning, but it's close. I'm happy to take a draw here. So stupid. Oh. Resi Tech. Do I know this name? Alright, fuck. So dog shit. I was winning, and then I just threw it away. I don't know, my brain literally turns off in endgames. I don't know what it is. But hey, on the upside, Kami said we should, I need to read quickly, and got done just on time, okay? So, small victories. Not in game, of course. In game, I do nothing but for peace with it. Yes, happy, slightly early, I believe, but New Year's all the same. To everyone. I know for some of you it's already the 30th, so we're getting a... I will stream tomorrow. As for whether I will stream on the 31st is a huge... I was trying to say get the queen out, but chat was members only. I don't think chat was members only, dude. No, Okamane, how's it going, man? 133, suffering. Wow, they're talking about me in particular. My daily life. Haha. Sorry, I made a joke like that last stream, and then Dr. Z was like concerned for my well-being. She's like, hey, like, do you feel mental health professional? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm just fucking around. I'm just my sense of humor. Subscribe, no member. I see it. You're not subscribed on your other channel, Okamine? How could you? Sorry. Chapter 133. Lumine couldn't make sense of it, but he didn't dwell on it either. He rolled up his sleeve, baring his right arm, and sliced it with fallen mercury. A brief moment of numbness was followed by familiar pain, but he didn't flinch. He watched as blood oozed out and stained the silver-black blade crimson. Silver-black blade crimson is like a fucking crazy sentence. Why? Almost instantaneously, a mercury illusory river composed of intricate symbols materialized before Lumine's eyes. The destiny droplet stored in the evil dirk seeped from its tip and flowed into the shallow wound. Lumine concentrated, straining to discern the fact he had sought to exchange. He saw himself receiving treatment. He saw himself falling asleep after releasing his emotions, and saw himself searching for Ostatrul. Scenes flashed through Lumine's mind as if he witnessed them firsthand. Soon after, he located the fate of venturing outside the catacombs and encountering the Monsuri ghost from several days prior. He raised the tip of the fallen mercury and thrust it towards the complex symbols that appeared to be formed of the river. The fate proved heavy, and Lumine failed to stir it on his first attempt. As the river faded, the scene in his mind became increasingly hazy. He hurriedly channeled most of his spirituality into the blade once again. At last, with a second stir, the fate of meeting the Monsuri ghost broke free from the illusory river and shrank into a minuscule droplet, resembling a bead of mercury. The illusory droplet rapidly merged with the pewter black dirk. Only then did Lumine exhale a sigh of relief. He knew he had evaded the Monsuri ghost, and the fallen mercury could now be deemed a cursed blade. Once he had treated the wound, an odd intuition struck him. Guided by this intuition, Lumine exited Auberge de Codor. Okay, wait. So, just so I understand this, why is the fate of being attacked by the ghost in the blade now? Shouldn't it have been in the blade before? Because it should have been in the blade when he stabbed himself and then given away when he stabbed the other guy, no? Why is it in the blade now? Am I, like, just not understanding this correctly? Once he had treated the wound, an odd intuition struck him. Guided by this intuition, Lumine exited Auberge de Codor again. Weaving through the raucous drunks in the heated brawl, he returned to Rue de Rossignol and halted outside the alley where he had assaulted Margot. You just said what happened last chapter? Oh, it's not in... Oh, okay, got it. Thank you. In the next moment, Lumine's gaze instinctively fell upon the shadow in the corner. Something lay quietly in the darkness. Sensing its significance, Lumine hurried over, crouched down and picked up the object with his gloved left hand. A bulging brown leather wallet. Margot dropped it? The money his underlings plundered and handed over to him. Lumine roughly understood how the fate exchange transpired. Although he couldn't recall whether Margot had dropped the wallet during the battle or if it had fallen afterwards, it didn't prevent Lumine from claiming the money. He extracted the thick wad of cash and emptied the gold, silver, and copper coins from the change purse. He then tossed the wallet aside and left the alley. I have to imagine that Lumion doesn't have a nice wallet. Why not take his? I don't know. In my mind, Lumion is like he's walking around with one of these. In my mind, this is like how Lumion carries his fucking money. Like the coin purse thing from Naruto. Tommy, don't diss my video like that, dude. Back in Auberge de Côte Lumion lit the carbide lamp and meticulously counted his newfound fortune. In total, he had acquired 1,265 Vril d'Or and 15 kopay. Most were banknotes worth 10 Vril d'Or or less. There was only one 200 Vril d'Or note, one 100, and two 50s. A few Louis d'Or were included as well. Lumion stared at the money for a few seconds before sighing. Even 10 donations from benevolent souls can't compare to taking down a gang leader. Naturally, not all of the money belonged to Margot. He was merely holding onto it for the Poison Spur mob. Lumion grabbed a stack of small bills amounting to 200 and left room 207. In under a minute, he had reached the 4th floor and came to a halt in front of room 8. He recalled that Margot had visited Auberge de Côte in the evening to collect most of the money from an unlicensed prostitute named Ethans. Ethans? At that moment, one of Margot's underlings must have been in charge, but the money eventually ended up in Margot's possession. Without knocking, Lumion crouched down, slid the stack of banknotes through the gap in the door. He quickly straightened up, turned up the stairs and vanished. Lumion slept until 6 when the cathedral bell chimed as normal. He had slept soundly, feeling as though his provoker potion had been somewhat digested. Okay, so that was correct. He needs to provoke, but not for provoking itself. It needs to be a means to an end. In last case, he provoked him to get him to come fight, to kill him. In the morning, I'll look for Ostatrul and see if Mr. K has replied. I'll also buy some better clothes and cosmetics from Quartier de l'Observatoire. In the afternoon, I'll visit the cheap clothing store at Le Marche de Quartier de Gentlemen. Lumion wasn't eager to rise. He laid there, quietly contemplating the day's plans. Having escaped the threat of the Monsieur ghost, he placed disguising himself back on his to-do list. After lingering in bed, he ambled to the washroom to freshen up. He went downstairs and purchased half a liter of apple cider and a loaf of bread with pork sausages from the vendors. I am so curious, with this amount of money, why the fuck does he not go live in like a decent apartment? Like, I'm not saying you need to go, rent a fucking, I don't know, Dwayne Dantes mansion, but like, get somewhere where you're not riddled with bed bugs. Like, I don't think I'm asking much here, come on. Like, dude, in my mind, like, I'm picking up that stack of cash from Margot and I'm going, so I would like to check out my clothes that are in there. Keep them, burn them. I don't even want them. Okay? I will just burn everything. Burn the room, actually. Fucking burn the whole floor. Fuck it. Just, I don't, it's fine. Having sated his hunger, he headed to the nearest cathedral square and found an empty corner to practice the combat techniques Aurora had taught him. Lumion returned to Auberge de Côte at 9:30, intending to rest for an hour before seeing Ostatrul. Upon entering the lobby, he spotted 3 maids cleaning out various filthy areas under Madame Feld's supervision. The motel owners hire a cleaner every Monday. At that moment, footsteps echoed from above. Within 10 seconds, Charlie appeared. You didn't go to the hotel? Lumion asked. Charlie yawned. Don't you know? I'm off today. We can take off 1 day a week and choose whichever day we want. Lumion chuckled. Doesn't it result in a reduction in your monthly salary from Madame Alice? She has her own social arrangements, Charlie grinned. As they conversed, a foul odor drifted in from the door. The short, disheveled, gray-haired Ruren Michael had entered the hotel. You didn't go to the steam locomotive station? Charlie greeted them warmly. Ruhr approached them. The market district is a bit chaotic today. We plan to rest for the day. What happened? Lumion asked, curiously. Ruhr lowered his voice. Margot of the Poison Spur mob is dead. Many gangsters are searching for someone. Other gangs might clash with them at any moment. There's a lot of officers around, too. Margot's dead? Charlie said, astonished. He had just he had just thought the guy deserved to die yesterday, and now he was dead. I've heard several people mention it. Ugh, we can't earn any money today, Madame Michelle said. If we don't go out today, we don't have to eat lunch. We can save money. Before Lumion could inquire, Charlie snapped out of his daze and dashed upstairs. Lumion's eyes flickered as he trailed behind. Yeah, no, Kami. As soon as I realized it was the lady, it was the wife, it obviously meant, like, okay, her name is Michelle. But the way it's spelled is Michael. Or, well, it's Michael without an A, technically, so... yeah. Like, the pronunciation of a name can differ slightly based on, like, if it's just, based on just its gender, right? Except for, like, unisex names like Jamie. Thud, thud, thud. Charlie rapidly ascended to the 4th floor and sprinted to his room. Who is it? A slightly hoarse female voice emerged from within. Charlie announced his name loudly. Didn't I say I'm off the clock in the morning? Back in the afternoon, remember? 10 Vril, code door. No discounts this time. The female voice responded impatiently, opening the door. This was Lumion's first encounter with a woman named Ethans. Her flaxen hair tumbled to her shoulders, her similarly colored eyes wary and her face etched with apprehension. She appeared to be 23 or 24, with average looks that could only be described as delicate. Her face and clothes were clean, and her red dress exposed a generous expanse of fair skin. Charlie excitedly informed Ethans, "Did you know? Margot's dead?" Aw, that's so sweet of Charlie. As soon as he heard Margot was dead, that was the first thing that popped into his mind. Oh, that's a sweet kid, dude. That's a cute kid. Ethan stared, dumbfounded. Ethans? I don't know. Stared dumbfounded. After a few seconds, her voice turned sharp. Is that devil truly dead? It's true, Charlie nodded. You can finally escape that devil and live like a normal person. Ethans glanced around, dazed, and taking in Lumion's expressionless eyes and Charlie's animated countenance. He's dead? He's dead, she muttered, thinking of the money that had mysteriously appeared in the room. As she started to believe Margot was dead, her vision blurred and tears poured down her cheeks. She couldn't help but squat down and bury her face in her arms, sobbing uncontrollably. At that moment, more footsteps echoed. Lumion turned his head and saw a young man in a white shirt, coat, and black jacket appearing. Behind him were Margot's 3 thugs. The lad's brown hair were slightly curly, and a face bore prominent creases. He strode up to the weeping Ethans, crouched down, and smiled. I'm Wilson, from the Poison Spur mob. From today, I'll be taking care of you on Margot's behalf. Oh, buddy, you shouldn't have did that. You're gonna die tonight, too. A Mosuri ghost is gonna hit you tonight. The shadow, Charlie's excited expression froze. Ethan's cries halted. Slowly raising her face, she saw Wilson smile. And the shadow his body cast, a shadow so dense it couldn't be dispelled. Lumion observed quietly, his head imperceptibly raised. On the way to the 1st floor, Charlie, who had been silent, couldn't help but ask, is there really no suffering is there really no end to the suffering of the poor? I like something Aurora Lee, Lumion said. Sometimes we are not the ones at fault, but the world itself. As soon as he finished speaking, 3 people stomped up to the 1st floor. They were policemen in black uniforms, black vests, and white shirts. The 1.85 meter tall officer led the group, glanced at Charlie and Lumion and suddenly stopped. Pressing on his gun, he asked, Charlie Collant? Charlie was stunned. That's me, officer? What's the matter? The officer gestured at his colleagues to take out his steel handcuffs. You're suspected of murder. We're arresting you. Murder? Charlie's eyes displayed shock, fear, and confusion. Lumion raised his eyebrows as well. As the officer handcuffed Charlie, he informed him, Madam Alice is dead. The plot thickens! Two murders, one night. Ooh. Courtesan. Is Charlie the courtesan? Or was Madame Alice's someone's courtesan? regular Gatorade? That's definitely... There's more sugar in this than I've had in a month's time. What? Charlie's disbelief was palpable. Lumion shared his surprise. He was convinced that Charlie had no reason to kill Madame Alice. After all, while she lived, Charlie stood to gain 500 Vrildor a month for the next 6 months. According to various publications, a sum nearly equivalent to the monthly salary of a doctor, lawyer, or mid-level civil servant. For someone who had nearly starved to death and could only find work as an apprentice attendant, it was a fortune. As his 2 colleagues headed upstairs, the officer who had handcuffed Charlie explained Madame Alice was discovered dead in her room at Hotel de Singe Blanc? S-Y-G-N-E. Excuse me? Cine. At Hotel de Cine Blanc? Interesting. Multiple hotels confirmed that you spent the night there and didn't leave until close to midnight. Charlie's confusion and fear mounted. How is this possible? How did she die? She was alive when I left. I swear by the Saint Viev. The preliminary autopsy report places Madame Alice's time of death between 11 and 1 last night. Besides you, no one else was seen there. Would the presence not be human, Lumion thought, considering the Montsouris ghost? If it weren't for his lack of adequate disguise and his desire to avoid the detective's scrutiny, he would have voiced his thoughts. Impossible! This can't be! A police officer who had slipped away earlier descended from the 4th floor, a glittering diamond necklace held in his left hand. Found this, he informed the lead officer. The officer nodded without a further explanation to Charlie, stared at him and said, Charlie Collant, you're under arrest for murder. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Even this is so good, because it's literally just the Miranda rights? Miranda warning? Whatever. And it's, of course, it's here because they got it from Roselle, who just can copy-pasted it. I mean, they're missing a portion, mind you. I want to be clear. Like they do in most movies, but hey. I didn't do that. You hear me? I didn't do this, Charlie screamed. Despite his protests, he was led out of the hotel by the police officers. By then, several tenants had been drawn by the commotion where they watched the scene unfold. Among them was Gabriel, who had stayed up all night on an all-night writing session to finish his manuscript. You think Charlie did it? Lumion asked the playwright. Gabriel had emerged earlier and had a rough understanding. I don't think so. He's not a saint, but I don't think he's evil. Why do you say that? Lumion inquired. Charlie was swindled out of his money and nearly starved, yet he never considered stealing from us, Gabriel said. That means he either has principles and a moral compass, or he's terrified of the law. Either way, unlikely to be someone who murders. Lumion nodded, then chuckled. People can be impulsive and change. With that, he climbed the stairs to the 5th floor. He made a republic, named himself Caesar. Yeah, exactly. That's the least of his fucking copyright problems. Miranda rights aren't exactly a good thing, so they take it. This was the top of the Auberge de Côte d'Or. Large sections of the ceiling overhead showed signs of water damage, as if heavy rain would cause it to leak. Lumion approached room 504, Charlie's room, extracted a small wire he carried with him to unlock the door. Inside Charlie's suitcase, bed and wooden table had been rifled through by the 2 police officers earlier. Items were strewn about and were few and far between. Lumion recalled that during a conversation with Charlie at the basement bar, he had mentioned pawning his only formal suit and many other belongings while unemployed, and he still couldn't afford to get them back. As he entered, his gaze shifted and Lumion spotted a portrait. Taped to the wall opposite the bed, it depicted a woman in a green dress. The woman appeared to be in her late 20s, with auburn hair, jade green eyes, and lustrous red lips. Lumion was taken aback. He realized this must be Susanna Matisse, the infamous prostitute Charlie had confused for Saint Viev. Yet he had never met this woman, so there was no reason for him to find her familiar. After some thought, Lumion remembered something. During his summoning dance in room 207, he had attracted a translucent figure, clearly far more powerful than the other entities. That figure, too, was female and bore a striking resemblance to Susanna Matisse. However, one had turquoise hair and the other auburn. One's hair was long enough to cover her naked body, while the other was merely long enough to make a bun. Moreover, her figure was even more alluring, seemingly capable of stirring hidden desires within anyone. Susanna Matisse's portrait didn't provoke such a feeling in Lumion. A consequence of misguided prayers, he thought? I mean, I guess she could have just... If she's off the demoness pathway, which you just have to assume any pretty woman is a demoness, you just... In Lord of the Mysteries verse, I want to be really clear. Luvion, do not clip that without that second bit. Okay, that's unfair. So, I mean, she could have just gone up a sequence or two, and that would have made it make sense. In the past, he wouldn't have questioned Charlie's actions. If it meant avoiding starvation, Lumion would have prayed sincerely to a prostitute, let alone Trier's guardian angel. But now, through Aurora's grimoire, Lumion had gained a basic understanding of the entry-level sequences of the 22 pathways of the divine, sacrificial taboos, and associated mystical knowledge. He knew that careless praying could be perilous. After searching for a while, he left Charlie's room, grabbed a carbide lamp, and hailed a public carriage, heading to a Quartier de l'Observatoire. As he ventured to the underground towards the area where Asta Truls typically lurked, Lumion periodically scrutinized the shadows. He laughed to himself. I won't run into the ghost again, will I? If that's the case, we need to consider whether the Mossuary ghost has a particular connection to something he possesses, or if the corruption had indirectly altered his horoscope, resulting in exceptionally bad luck. He found, however, Lumion's concerns proved unfounded, and he found Asta Truhl sitting by a bonfire. The hooded figure glanced at Lumion and offered a genuine smile. Mr. K has granted you permission to attend the bi-weekly mysticism gathering at 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. Asta's gaze bore at a distinct sincerity, as if to say, payment was due. 9 p.m. the day after tomorrow, Lumion nodded. Where's the gathering? Meet at my place an hour beforehand. I'll take you there, Asta said. I'll pay you the rest then. Okay. Asta seemed a little disappointed, but acquiesced all the same. What should I be cautious of at the gathering, Lumion asked. Cover your face and hide your identity, Asta said. You don't want others to exposing you if they're caught by the authorities, do you? Aside from Mr. K, no one should know everything. You've already seen my face and know my identity. Should I consider burying you in some underground Trier after the first gathering? Lumion asked. Asta involuntarily shuddered and forced a smile. You're quite the joker, but I don't actually know who you are, where you live, or what you do. Besides, I find it unlikely that you've shown me your true self. Taking pleasure in unnerving the other party, Lumion found a rock and sat down. Basking in the warmth of the bonfire, he asked, have you ever heard of Susanna Matisse? I have. For a time, she was the woman of my dreams. I bought numerous posters and postcards. A few years ago, she was Trier's most famous prostitute, the kind who attended high society banquets. She was linked to countless scandals involving members of parliaments, high-ranking officials, and the wealthy. Isn't this Madame Sharon to a T, basically? I mean, obviously Madame Sharon is dead, but, like, their version of her? Rumor had it that he had hundreds of thousands of world d'or annually, and she'd been out of the limelight for the past 2 or 3 years. Rumor has it she made hundreds of thousands of world d'or annually? Bro, like 1,000 world d'or is like the salary of like a decent lawyer. She's the fucking LeBron James of prostitution. What do you mean? Nana has since taken her place. Nana has since taken her place as Trier's renowned courtesan. She may have become someone else's permanent mistress. Hundreds of thousands of Vril d'Or? Lumen was taken aback. A high-level courtesan earns more than best-selling authors? Isn't that normal? Asta said. A high-level courtesan can sleep with members of parliaments, bankers, and high-ranking officials, but a best-selling author can't. Who's to say an author can't do both, bitch? God. Lumion remarked, true. Poet Baller once said... Bolé? Once said that there is no difference between a poet and a prostitute. The former sells the product of his imagination, the latter her body. I prefer bodies, Asta said candidly. Lumion inquired again. Have you heard of the legend of a female ghost? She has turquoise hair, long enough to wrap around her body. Her features are exquisite, capable of enchanting most men, arousing their desires. No, Asta said. But if such a ghost truly does exist, I would love to meet her. Lumion stood up and said, then brace for a sudden death after doing it dozens of times a night. Okay. Yeah. Okay, come. I can't even judge you too harshly. I've been such a bad joke today. I don't know if she's genuinely mad at me. I'm assuming she's chilling, but all the same, like I said something that was maybe a little out of the blue. Um, 3 p.m., 27 Avenue de Marche, La Marche de Quartier de Gentlemen, Police Headquarters. Lumion, having spent nearly 300 Vril d'Or on 3 sets of differently graded clothes, affordable cosmetics, and other disguised props, entered the unusually noisy hall. Some people were being brought in, others were fortunate enough to leave, while others argued their case loudly. Lumion, his blonde hair neatly combed back, black framed glasses perched on the bridge of his nose, and a mustache adorning his lips, appeared with overly fair cheeks. He stopped before the man, his head lifted slightly as he announced, I am Charlie Collant's pro bono lawyer. I would like to see my client. Confirming the situation. Saul Goodman time. Oh, true. True. Okay. The constable set down his newspaper and sized up Lumion. Show me your lawyer license card and register your name and purpose of the visit. License? Seriously? Lumion, a phony attorney, felt a surge of panic. He hadn't read in countless novels and newspapers that simply identifying... hadn't he read in several novels and newspapers that simply identifying yourself as a lawyer was enough to gain access to a client? Bit more serious when Lumion gets to Charlie? Sounds good. As Lumion reached for the black fountain pen, his mind raced, formulating a plan. He suddenly noticed that the constable across from him had shifted his attention to the recently discarded copy of Youth of Trier, fixating on the annual Trier race. He doesn't seem to care about the lawyer license. An idea flashed through his mind. Mimicking Aurore's penmanship, he scribbled, Guillaume Pierre, pro bono lawyer, meeting client Charlie Collant. After jotting it down, Lumion stood up and glanced around. Feigning delight, he raised his arms and said, My little cabbage! Long time no see! Confused, everyone looked at him. Lumion spun around to the registering constable. I spotted a friend. The unspoken message. He'd present his lawyer license later. Without waiting for a reply, Lumion strode to a corner of the hall. The constable gave the registrar a cursory glance before returning his gaze to the Youth of Trier. Once in the corner, Lumion stole a peek at the preoccupied constable and turned to the baffled onlookers with an apologetic grin. Apologies, I mistook you for someone else. Clutching his briefcase, he approached the police officer he had chosen earlier, who was now coming from the registration office. Lumion lifted his chin and said, I want to see my client, Charlie Collant. In the Indus Republic, attorneys held a far higher social status than ordinary constables. Plague, how's it going, man? The officer glanced back at the registration office, saw no cause for concern, and nodded. I'll contact the person in charge of that case for you. 15 minutes later, Lumion found himself face to face with Charlie in a secure room, 2 officers standing guard at the door. "Who are you?" Charlie asked. He had heard of pro bono lawyers while chatting with other hotel staff and knew they were provided by the government agencies or philanthropic organizations for destitute suspects. He never expected one to arrive so quickly, though. That's when the woman died? Yep. Lumion grinned, removed his black frame glasses, winked with his right eye, and spoke with his natural voice. "Don't you recognize me? I am your pro bono lawyer." Charlie stared, dumbstruck. After a few seconds of careful scrutiny, a spark of recognition lit up in his face. Before he could speak, Lumion slipped on his glasses and said, "Quiet. Listen to me." Oh shit, yeah, sorry, Gummy. Game with like good Witcher 3's gotta have some somewhere. Yeah, this isn't bad. Before he could speak, Lumion slipped on his glasses and said, "Quiet. Listen to me." Okay. Charlie snapped back. I need to know the details of what happened. That is the only way I can save you." "Really?" Charlie asked with desperation in his voice, like a drowning man gasping at a lifeline. Feigning his professionalism, Lumion asked, "What time did you stay in the room with Mrs. Alice until?" Charlie grabbed his face, struggling to recall. "Madam Alice ordered room service. I entered the room before 8 and stayed up until she was tired. I left at midnight. By that time, she just laid down or was still awake. She was alive." 8 a.m. to midnight? Every day? A 500-volt door isn't exactly easy, huh? You have to be honest with me. Hiding anything will only hurt you." I'm not lying. That's the truth. Trust me," Charlie said. After verifying a few more details, Lumion inquired, "After you gained Madame Alice's favor, did anyone express jealousy?" "Many. Apprentice and official attendants alike. They were all jealous," Charlie said. They discussed the topic for a while before Lumion produced a photo, handing it to Charlie. "See if you recognize this person." "Isn't this Saint Vieve?" Charlie said. "How is she dressed so provocatively? Her chest exposed?" "I have confirmed that the portrait in your room isn't Saint Vieve. It belongs to a famous courtesan. Susanna Matisse." Lumion tactfully replaced prostitute with courtesan to prevent Charlie from being too upset. "Huh? I prayed to a prostitute, not an angel?" You can just play Vanitas, actually. Vanitas feels too serious for this, no? I mean, you're the... Like, this feels too serious. Okay. It gets serious now, but yeah, I wanted something for the whole scene. Alright, fair. But why did my luck change for the better? No, it truly improved. I wouldn't be arrested. Lumion produced another photo, still depicting Suzanne Matisse, but he had already altered the courtesan's hair and made a few edits. "Take a look and see if you recognize this person." Charlie scrutinized the image for a few seconds before his expression morphed. "What? How can this be?" "So you know her?" She's the woman from my dreams. Didn't I tell you I had these amazing dreams for a few days? I dreamt of being with her. She was so passionate." How did you know I dreamt of her?" I didn't tell anyone. But do you have a photo? Charlie's gaze, now fixed on Lumion, had changed. Is this really the southern kid I know? Aside from his talent for pranks and good looks, there was nothing extraordinary about him. Take a closer look at who's in the photo, Lumion smiled. Charlie stared at the image of the green-haired woman. As he examined it, his expression morphed into sheer terror. No, that's impossible. Susanna, she's that prostitute, Charlie shouted. The revelation left him feeling as if he had encountered a malevolent spirit. After praying to a porter of a prostitute, he had not only escaped hunger and found a new job, but had also dreamt of her and slept with her. Isn't this akin to encountering a ghost? Lumion nodded. Congratulations. At least you're not blind. He'd intended to help Charlie and divulge information as a prank to frighten him, but the two matters were unrelated. The door to the interview room cracked open. What happened? Why are you shouting? A constable asked. I had to help him recall some key details, Lumion explained. Charlie snapped out of it. Yes, I just remembered something very important. And indeed it was. The police officer didn't press any further and closed the door. Seeing this, Charlie leaned in. Did I encounter an evil spirit? It may not be a vengeful or evil spirit, Lumion said. It may be even more troublesome. At those words, Charlie's face became ashen. You mean Madame Alice was killed by that spirit? I'm not sure yet. Lumion stood up. I need to examine the body. You even know how to investigate a body to determine the cause of death? Lumion found his neighbor increasingly enigmatic. Lumion smiled, but offered no answer. As Charlie's defense attorney, Lumion had a right to inspect the body. Under police supervision, of course, and he could even enlist the assistance of an independent pathologist. So after signing 2 documents under the name Guillaume Pierre, Lumion was escorted to the basement of the police headquarters into the morgue. This is Madame Alice, the officer said as he opened a cabinet and unzipped a body bag. In life, Alice had preserved her appearance quite well, with only faint wrinkles at the corners of her eyes and mouth. Lumion glanced casually at the body and said to the officer, I'm good. He wasn't a pathologist and had come to conduct a genuine examination. His objective was merely to pinpoint the location of Miss Alice's remains. Is that a word? A panoptician, a kind of penitentiary building first designed by English philosopher? What the fuck is this? After exiting the morgue, Lumion turned to the accompanying officer and said, Where's the nearest restroom? Take a right at the end of the corridor, the officer said, despite his growing impatience. Lumion hastened his steps and entered the basement restroom. Once inside, he locked the wooden door and performed a summoning dance. Amidst the frenzied and contorted dance, a chilling wind swept through the restroom, and vague figures materialized. Lumion had never witnessed such a spectacular sight before. For a moment, he felt as if he was surrounded by specters. He steadied himself for a moment while searching for Madame Alice. Soon, he spotted a fierce-looking lady with thick brown eyebrows. Lumion unsheathed the ritual silver dagger and inflicted a wound, commanding Madame Alice to attach herself to him. Madame Alice consumed the drop of blood and entered Lumion's body. Immediately, Lumion felt a shiver run down his spine and his chest became heavy. Without hesitation, Lumion amplified Madame Alice's obsession, foregoing any selection of her characteristics or abilities. Almost instantaneously, his vision blurred, and he saw Madame Alice lying on the bed, her mouth and nose smothered down by a pillow. But there was no one pressing down on the pillow in sight. She lost a 1v1 with a pillow? Listen, I'm just saying, that's just natural selection at that point. What do you mean? He's like 60, bro. Lost a 1v1 to a pillow. And I believe it said she was like 40. Kami. Lumion, consumed by Madame Alice's fixation, found breathing difficult. His body ached more intensely, as if he had once again encountered the Matsuri ghost. Alright, I'm not even touching that, Kami. I'm not touching that fucking comet with a 10-foot barge pole. You're out of your fucking mind. Concerned he might lose control, Lumion chose not to push further and ordered Madame Alice to vacate his body. Gasping for air, he wiped the cold sweat from his brow and reverted to a slightly arrogant lawyer persona. Accompanied by the police officer, he headed back to the interview room. Charlie sprang to his feet, leaning forward. "What's the result?" he asked. Lumion nodded, his gesture simply implying that the autopsy findings aligned with expectations. Relief washed over Charlie's face, as if he'd expended all of his energy at that moment. Why is Charlie relieved? I would be shitting my pants way more right now. Before this, we thought like, oh, someone else killed Madame Alice. We just have to find the killer. A ghost killed her, bro. Your case just became way harder to win. In front of the two constables, Lumion declared, "Don't worry about anything. I've got it covered. You need only do one thing. During the next questioning, recount the entire story to these gentlemen without omitting a detail, no matter how absurd or implausible it may sound. However, stick to what happened up to your arrest. No need to delve into our conversation." Since the lawyer-client dialogue might involve courtroom tactics others had no right to know, the two officers didn't find Lumion's statement odd at all. However, Charlie was an unfortunate kid facing a serious crime for the first time, requiring a lawyer. He likely didn't know the rules and needed explicit guidance. Charlie grasped Lumion's message, "Do not reveal to the officer that I discovered the issue with the portrait." Charlie wasn't angry, terrified, or flustered, but he wasn't as chatty as usual either. After departing the Market District's police headquarters, Lumion circled twice before finding an alley blocked by a barricade. He changed his clothes, removed his glasses, and altered his makeup. "Now that I have enough money, I can set up a safe house and find a place to switch disguises based on Aurora's novels." He also intended to purchase a copy of Men's Aesthetics. Mastering makeup without guidance is impossible, he thought. En route to Auberge the Côte d'Or, Lumion contemplated how to extract Charlie from his dire situation. Who is Susanna Matisse, or this bizarre creature he morphed into? And why did she kill Madame Alice? So it seems like Susanna Matisse died at some point. Probably killed by one of her clients. Became an evil spirit due to the sheer negative feelings that she possessed. And then when she met Charlie, who was praying to her, that love made her help him out and maybe subtly guide things to be better for him. But then when he started seeing someone else, she got jealous and killed her. That's what I'm getting. Why did she help Charlie in the past and engage in the act with him in the dream? The prospect of writing to Madame Magician unsettled Lumion. Judging by the speed of her previous response and its contents, he sensed her indirectness. "Do not bother me unless it's important." God, she's such an entitled bitch. God. He's a child. Help him, for God's sake. God, you can take your naps later, fours. If Lumion faced an issue involving Susanna Matisse, writing to inquire would be acceptable, but this predicament only concerned his neighbor. It was highly likely that the enigmatic, potent woman who detested complications wouldn't respond, and this could impact her attitude towards Lumion as a whole. If I'm not asking Madame Magician, why not inquire at Mr. K's mysticism gathering? If the attendees are beyonders at Ostertrul's level, they may not have an answer. Lumion mulled it over and entered his room. His gaze fell upon the suitcase containing Aurora's novels. and he experienced a revelation. Why should I investigate Susanna Matisse and deal with her personally? My objective is to rescue Charlie. If I can uncover Susanna Matisse's vulnerability and vanquish her, can I coerce a peculiar creature like herself to turn herself in at the police station? But even if she did cope, the police wouldn't entertain her. Given her characteristics, wouldn't she just start at... never mind, I'm not reading. Lumion rapidly discerned his distinction between goals and means. There was no need for such effort to exonerate Charlie and secure his release from the police. Yet simply to inform Bureau 8, the Church of EBS and the God of Steam and Machinery that Charlie's case involved Beyonder elements and prompt them to intervene. Even a low-level Beyonder with no intelligence, network, or mystical powers could detect something was amiss. There's no reason why official investigators couldn't uncover the invisible force behind Madame Alice's demise. Not only would they verify Charlie's innocence, but also help him escape Susanna Matisse's grasp and resolve the issue with the strange creature entirely. He had urged Charlie to divulge everything at the Market District Police Headquarters to attract the attention of official Beyonders. Nevertheless, he felt compelled to act. He couldn't rely solely on the intellect of ordinary officers. What if they deemed Charlie's story a fabrication? Lumion's gaze swept over the crumpled newspaper on the wooden table, recalling how he or his sister had snipped out the blue book words and pierced them together to compose a letter. Transform Charlie's experience into a letter and deliver it to a cathedral? Lumion nodded, deciding to execute that plan. Armed with the plea for help and Charlie's confession, it should pique the interest of official Beyonders. As if he was about to search for appropriate phrases, Lumion frowned. Could the officials link a similar request for help to Cordu? What if they associate me, a criminal, with Charlie? Lumion didn't know if Ryan and his associates had reported their findings to the official Beyonders nationwide, but he was unwilling to take that risk. Try Aurora's handwriting? Unlike a lawyer's signature that doesn't raise suspicion, Ryan and his team suggested that the letter would likely undergo various checks, including divination. Disguise myself and have someone else write it for me. Lumion thought and made a decision. I can summon a spirit world creature to write it. If the officials detect any issues, they won't be able to make the creature identify me, since they don't know the summoning incantation. The more Lumion considered, the more he thought it was a decent plan. He pulled out a chair and began writing. Spirit wandering in the void, the friendly creature that can be subordinated. Summon creatures... Weakling, proficient in Intesian. After writing, Lumion exhaled. He then leafed through Aurora's grimoire and translated the few unmastered words into Hermes. Immediately after, he set up the altar and commenced the summoning. Dude. He's getting a fucking summoned being at sequence 8? It's kinda rushing. Our summoned being was a fallen angel, but yeah, you take whatever you get now, buddy. Immediately after, he set up the altar and commenced the summoning. Soon, he completed the ritual and observed the candle flame turn a dark green. A hazy, translucent figure materialized, its head resembling an ox and the rest a dog. Help me write a letter. Lumion said in Hermes as he gazed at the creature. The ox-headed dog didn't respond. I ordered you to help me write, Lumion said. The dog appeared dumbstruck, as though it didn't understand. Lumion made a couple more attempts, but the dog remained unresponsive. Lumion had no choice but to terminate the summoning early. And communicate. Amenable to subordination doesn't mean it can be communicated with. With this realization, Lumion modified the second incantation to being a friendly creature that can be communicated with. Being able to communicate means being able to make requests. This time, a colossal snail emerged from the flames. Hello, Lumion said. Hello, what is the matter? The snail emitted an ethereal voice. Can you help me write a letter? Lumion was overjoyed. But I don't have any hands, the snail said. Lumion had no choice but to end the summoning. After some consideration, he changed the phrase weakling proficient in Intesian to weakling who can write Intesian. Can write covered both knowledge and necessary physical requirements. Before long, Lumion completed a third summoning, and now a transparent creature resembling a rabbit appeared. Rain, it can't be Rainette, Kami. The hands are busy holding the heads. How is she gonna write? Think. How's she gonna write? Just holding the heads. The snail can't write, it doesn't have arms. Or hands. Bite the pen? Have you... Try writing like that. Try. Try writing with a pen in your mouth. It's like writing with your non-dominant hand x like 50x difficulty. Like, what are we talking about? The rabbit nodded, picked up the pen on the table, and wrote an Intesian word on the paper. A letter. Lumien's lips twitched. The creature didn't seem too bright. With resolve, he grabbed a pen and paper and scribbled a plea for help, including Susanna Matisse's portrait, details about the dream and Madame Alice's death, and Charlie's arrest. He then said to the rabbit, "Copy it." The rabbit took the fountain pen and diligently transcribed. It soon finished its task. Lumien examined it and nodded. The next second, his smile froze. Not only had the dimwit copied the entire contents of the letter, it also replicated his handwriting. In other words, it was Lumien's script. Lumien took a deep breath and pointed at the novel weakly and said, "Copy it in that font." The rabbit nodded and rewrote without complaint. A few minutes later, Lumien received a seemingly printed plea for help. A spirit world printer? Bro, that rabbit is kind of goated though. Like, he said, like, write it, and he said, okay. And he said, like, no, not like that. Write this. He said, okay. And then he said, no, in this font. And he said, okay. Like, that's goated. That is goated behavior. A rabbit being this chill? He's like, I'm just a chill guy, you know? Like, whatever you need, you just let me know. I'll hook you up. Okay, I don't know if we'll quite be able to get done by the time Dara's stream is. I'm gonna try for you, Kami, I know. But I'm gonna but like, I don't know if I can. I'm trying really hard, but... You want me to read 40 as well, right? So that'd be 4 more chapters. I don't think I can do that in 40 minutes. I'll try. Lumien examined the letter with gloved hands and breathed a sigh of relief. No issues this time. Completing 3 consecutive spirit world summonings had taken a lot out of him. After a moment, Lumien asked the rabbit, "Can you do me another favor?" The rabbit thought for a few seconds and nodded. Lumien unzipped his grayish-blue work uniform. Lumien, it's an animal. Lumien, it's an ethereal animal. No, he's not gonna do that. Then follow me. The rabbit leapt from midair to Lumien's side, assuming the role of a loyal companion. Lumien sighed quietly and said, "What I mean is, you can hide inside my clothes to avoid detection by any beyonders with heightened spiritual perception?" Oh. We were on a dark path. The rabbit wore a blank expression as it hopped into Lumien's clothes. So, since it had no true mass or weight, the clothes could be zipped up quickly. After stowing the letter in the same pocket, Lumien dissolved the spiritual barrier and removed his glasses and exited his room. Kami, bro, that's not on me. He did... Can you do me a favor? The rabbit nods. Lumien unzips his grayish-blue work uniform. Where does your mind go? Don't make it sound like I'm the weird one. What the fuck? Oh, uniform, not pants. Oh, that makes the big difference. I'm sorry, I didn't think of that. My bad. Yeah, big difference. Fuck you. He meandered towards Avenue de Marche, nearing the Suhit locomotive station. It was just past 5 and many people were still at work. The streets were neither crowded nor deserted. Groups of passerbys headed for the public carriage station. Lumien patted his right pocket and pointed at the postbox several dozen meters away and said, "See that green metal cylinder?" He felt a vibration. The rabbit responded. Place the letter beside you in that metal cylinder. Having said that, Lumion massaged his temples and activated his spirit vision. He watched the rabbit emerge, enveloping the plea for help. It maneuvered through the crowd and reached the cylinder. As Lumion thought the rabbit would deposit the letter in the mailbox and complete the mission, the creature entered the postbox with the letter. Moments later, it exited the postbox and flew back to Lumion. I guess that counts, Lumion thought. He then left the Avenue de Marche with the rabbit and located in a vacant alley set in Hermes. He informed the rabbit that the summoning was over, and the rabbit returned to the spirit world. That's a chill rabbit. He didn't ask for anything. He didn't ask for a gold coin, nothing. He just said like, man, I had some free time. Just thought about doing like a nice thing. You seem like a poor kid who needs help. I'll help you out. With the rabbit returned to the spirit world, Lumion felt at ease. He had resolved to stop aiding Charlie. The rest would hinge on the official Beyonders. If it wasn't for the fact that this matter was intriguing, he wouldn't have bothered to help at all. Do I have to battle that enigmatic creature, Susanna Matisse, on his behalf? Lumion mused. In Cordu, if those crude fellows understood the traits Susanna Matisse exhibited, they would have undoubtedly asked slyly whether he wanted to fight her in bed or in hayloft. What is... Of course, Lumion could be just as coarse when dealing with them. On his way back to Rue Anarchy, he discovered a meat patty shop and purchased a red snapper hot beef meatloaf for dinner. Paired with the soda sold by the street vendors, Lumion navigated the crowd as he ate, he occasionally evading the hands that covertly reached for his wallet. Compared to ruined meatloaf, red snapper hot beef meatloaf was less greasy, the fish refreshing and delicate, and the beef savory and crispy. The dough's subtle sweetness had a bite, and the aroma of sweetness and fat ignited Lumion's taste buds. After eating and drinking his fill, he clutched the glass bottle that still contained a third of the pale red liquid and sighed. No wonder Trirans love meatloaf. When I get the chance, I'll visit Rue Richelieu in the Library District and try the first restaurant that created red snapper hot beef meatloaf. Based on the newspaper and magazines he had pursed, he could recite a few famous meatloaves off the top of his head. Dijon meatloaf. I'm not reading all those French words. Fuck them. I don't care. Different types of meatloaves, okay? Sipping the pomegranate flavored soda, Lumion turned to Rue Anarchy, where his gaze was met with a chaotic tableau. The suspected gangsters brandished either clubs or axes. Pedestrians steered clear and vendors retreated from Rue Anarchy one by one. The residents of the houses on both sides slammed their windows shut. Lumion didn't venture further. He backtracked a few steps and found a wall pillar to conceal himself behind. He suspected that his assassination of the poison spur mob boss Margot had aroused the suspicion of a few gangs. After waiting for nearly 15 minutes, Lumion didn't witness the mobsters erupt into combat. His anticipation had left him. He cursed. Are you guys gonna do this or not? Stop fucking blocking the street. With that in mind, Lumion glanced at the 5-story greyish-white building beside. He seriously contemplated finding a room and hurling an empty soda bottle between the two, tricking them into thinking the opposite had done so to incite a battle. Lumion would have enjoyed a spectacle. Just as he was about to put his plan into action, a large contingent of police officers in black uniforms appeared on both sides of the street. Leading them were officers on tall brown or black horses, brandishing shields and clubs, advancing to the mob step by step, exuding an immense pressure, causing the gangsters to waver. With the police charge, the monsters that had gathered on the street disappeared. Some fled while others were beaten to the ground. Bro, can you imagine? You show up there for a street, everyone hangs around for like an hour, no one does anything, and then you get your ass beat by police officers you never saw coming? Oh my god. The embarrassment, bro. Leave the mob. Leave. Lumion couldn't help but applaud. His thirst for excitement had been thoroughly quenched. Holy shit, where's my back so itchy? What the fuck? There we go. In no time, Rue Anarchy had reached its usual cacophony. Lumion finished his last sip of pomegranate soda and sauntered back to his motel. Sitting on his bed, he replayed the entire process of writing and posting the letter in his mind to ensure he hadn't overlooked anything. After a while, Lumion sighed, if only I had a messenger. Unfortunately, obtaining a messenger isn't exactly easy, even Aurora didn't have one. To date, Lumion knew of only 2 people who had a messenger, Madam Magician and the curly-haired Baboon Research Society Vice President Hella. Hella, Lumion thought. If the Aurora in his dream indeed bore some influence from her soul fragment, it was apparent that Aurora trusted the Vice President a great deal. Her first move upon encountering a problem was to summon the other party's messenger. I wonder if Hella knows Aurora's true identity. Or knows that Aurora has Ston. As he pondered, an idea struck him. It was actually possible for him to summon Hella's messenger. Time to join the Transmigrators Club? That'd be goated! The summoning incantation comprised of only 3 sentences. Lumion was certain the last phrase was, a messenger belonging to Hella. The first 2 sentences followed a fixed format and requirements. If he tried a few combinations, he would find the right one. Yeah, but if you try the wrong combinations, you will find death. But wait, if Lumion dies, does he just have to wait until 6 o'clock the next morning and he just reses? How does that work? Moreover, under such circumstances, Lumion wouldn't face any danger even if the initial combinations were incorrect, because the description of a messenger belonging to Hella eliminated other possibilities. No, because it has to be a messenger of Hella? Oh, I see. In other words, he'd either fail to summon it or successfully summon Hella's messenger. Did I write a letter to Hella inform her of Aurora? Considering that his sister had only mentioned my notebook when she pushed him away, that pretty much sums that, and that much of the mystical knowledge in her notebook originated from the Baboon Society, Lumion made up his mind. If he could establish a connection with that organization, it would aid him greatly. He resolved to summon her messenger right away. He began writing a letter. Honorable Madam Hella, I apologize for writing you this letter. I am Muggle's younger brother. I forgot her name was Muggle. I am Muggle's younger brother. I regret to inform you that she has encountered misfortune and has passed away. This involves a catastrophe brought by the worshipping of an evil god, and only a few people and I escaped. I am not so sure if this matter interests you, so I will not elaborate. I do not wish to waste your time. What I want to know is, did Muggle mention anything suspicious to you within the past year? After staring at the letter for a few seconds, Lumion exhaled and folded the letter. He then cleaned the room and set up the altar again. The spirit that wanders about the unfounded, a friendly creature that can be subordinated, a messenger belonging solely to Hella. Nothing happened. I summon in my name, the spirit wandering about the world, though a friendly creature that can be subordinated, a messenger that belongs solely to Hella. A dark green candle flame lit up. At that moment, not only did the area above remain unlit, but even grew darker. In the darkness, a shape quickly materialized. It was a human-like skull, seemingly forged from pure silver, emitting a gentle light. Pale white flames burned in the skull's eye socket, instilling a sense of danger in Lumion. After staring at Lumion for a few seconds, the skull opened its mouth and bit down on the airborne letter and retreated into the darkness. I will say, Madam Magician, or no, Miss Messenger, always asking for a gold coin. Whereas, like, even these, like, this fucking hell is gonna be like a sequence 5 or some shit. Of, like, messengers that just do it pro bono. Kinda goated. $138. Okay. It would be... I would have to rush it, but there's a chance I would be able to finish stream in like 15 minutes after Darrow starts. That's pretty fucking good, okay? We ask... Lumion completed the ritual on the second attempt. He cleared the wooden table and opened Aurora's grimoire. Under the glow of the carbide lamp, he thumbed through a few relevant sections. After 15 minutes, he sensed something. He looked up and his gaze fixed on a spot near the window. A folded letter lay there. But fast? Lumion unfolded the letter and skimmed the elegantly written words. "I'm sorry to hear that. Ever since Muggles missed last month's gathering, I had a bad feeling. There are too many dangers in this world. Sometimes we cannot avoid them, just because we want to, unless we control everyone around us. If you wish, you can tell me Muggles' misfortune. You need not go into great detail. Just tell me the general situation. From the fact that you can summon my messenger, you should have stepped onto the Beyonder path. I'm not sure if your sister told you that this means you'll always be accompanied by danger and madness, but I must remind you that restraint and caution are your best friend. In the future, if you have any questions of mysticism, you can ask by writing to me. Although I am not one of those with vast knowledge, I can answer many things. I've only met Muggle twice in the past year, mainly discussing various matters in the Beyonder domain. What left a deep impression on me was that she mentioned a friend of hers was affected by a strange dream. Hoping to find a solution. If necessary, she wanted to hire a real psychiatrist to treat him. She was a good sister. She was a good big sister. I do hope I doubt we can, because there's no happy endings in Lord of the Mysteries. Or it's gonna be some Mr. Door bullshit. Like, oh no, we can maybe get Mr. Door back, save him from the moon. And then he comes back for like 4 minutes, he's insane, and 7 gods jump him and just start, no, stay the fuck down, this is why we don't want you to come, and just beat his ass. Okay, those are the 2 fucking options of what's gonna happen to her. Lumion silently read Hella's letter, his face twisting with emotion. Aurora had been searching a solution for his dream. Suddenly, he froze. Aurora told Hella about hiring a psychiatrist. Considering Madame Susie's description, a true psychiatrist must refer to a specific sequence of the spectator pathway. Only Beyonders skilled in this domain can prevent me from dreaming of the world shrouded in grey fog. The issue wasn't with the situation. The problem was Aurora's grimoire held only sequence 9 of the spectator pathway, yet she clearly knew about psychiatrist. Lumion recalled 2 conversations in his dream. First, Aurora had said she wanted to find a genuine hypnotist for him. Second, Aurora had mentioned that she knew sequence 9 and 8 of all pathways and had a certain understanding. Psychiatrist is often associated with hypnotist. Hypnotist is most likely of the spectator pathway as well, perhaps even superior to psychiatrist. Aurora's grimoire doesn't have records of the corresponding 8 or 7 of spectator. For so many days, he had discovered a discrepancy in Aurora's grimoire. Previously, he had suspicion, but wasn't certain there was a hidden anomaly. After all, Aurora in his dream was a figure formed of his memories. I don't think Aurora in the dream hid information. I think Aurora in the dream hinted at information. Oh. Everything she said may not have been complete or accurate. It was normal for her not to mention any exceptions explicitly. Now, Hella's response indirectly confirms that Aurora truly knew about 1 or more sequences of the spectator pathways and had a certain understanding of their abilities. Hadn't Aurora recorded this information in her grimoire? The inconsistency. Lumion pulled out a blank sheet of paper, his emotions, a blend of grief and anticipation. Honorable Madam Hella, the truth is, my memory of the actual event is fragmented due to the calamity. If you could assist me in locating Guillaume Benet, Polly de Roquefort, and others, I would be deeply grateful. Their appearance and attributes can be found on the local authorities' wanted posters. Lastly, I am curious about the real psychiatrist Muggle intended to hire. In his letter, Lumion briefly touched upon Cordu. He made no mention of the dream, loop, or his escape. He only speculated that the Padre Guillaume Benet, under someone's guidance, worshipped an evil god and banished Madame Polly, who followed another sinister deity. Benet had attempted a ritual with the entire village as a sacrifice, and at a crucial moment, Muggle, selected as a vessel, pushed Lumion away in a central sacrifice, causing the ritual to fail and Cordu's destruction. And finally, the official Beyonders who had been called up to clean the mess. Lumin assembled the letter, reassembled the altar, summoned the skull, and handed it the letter, and received a second reply from Hela within 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes. Fours would still be sleeping, wake up from a drunken stupor tomorrow at noon, read the letter, and go, great, I will let you know if I see him. Figure it out. Nothing else. Bitch. I can sense your sorrow and understanding your desire to uncover the truth and exact vengeance upon the perpetrator. As Muggle's friend, I will aid you to the best of my ability, including, but not limited to, locating these individuals. I can also offer a fresh lead on this matter. To my knowledge, Muggle's parents and other family may still be alive in this world. She had distanced herself from them for some reason and didn't dare return to Trier. I'm unsure if they are in any danger or if they've come into contact with the evil god's followers. I do not know which psychiatrist Muggle sought, or our organization has numerous genuine psychiatrists, and many gatherings Muggle and I attended don't overlap. I'll assist you by inquiring with members who have interacted with her to see if I can get the answer you seek. Until this investigation is complete, I will conceal the fact that Muggle is deceased. If you relocate in the future, please remember to summon my messenger again to prevent me from losing contact with you after obtaining pertinent information. Clever gal, clever lady. Initially, Lumin fell silent. Initially, he had imagined Madame Hela would invite him to join the research society, taking Aurora's place. In doing so, he could effectively investigate the psychiatrist Aurora sought to hire. However, it seemed the organization was highly cautious. They might even need to meet specific criteria to be selected. Yes, they did. Maybe Madame Hela is observing and testing me, Lumin assured. Are you telling me Lumin is by the end gonna be part of two organizations both headed by transmigrators? That's hilarious. As for Aurora's original family, he was at a loss where to even start. Wednesday, 7:50 p.m. Lumin rapped on Asta Truhl's door. Asta, clad in a black robe and hood, opened the door. You're more punctual than I anticipated. I honor my promises better than you think, Lumin said, handing Asta some banknotes and coins worth 80 Vril d'Or. Asta accepted it, counting twice. The market district's been somewhat chaotic recently. Baron Brignay didn't even come see me for the money, Asta Truhl said. A gang leader died, Lumin said. Why couldn't Baron Brignays have died? Asta said regretfully. Even if the Baron did die, there'd still be Baron Guillaume and Baron Pierre. As long as the mob exists, you'd have to pay what you owe, Lumin said. Before long, Asta and Lumin boarded a public carriage. In about an hour, the carriage arrived at Avenue de Boulevard is crazy, on the Srenzer River's north bank, Quartier 8. This was the heart of the entire Intis Republic. I don't see any drop frames. Should just be you coming. This was the heart of the entire Intis Republic, the entire pavilion of pleasure, the grand palace where Roselle had once resided himself. And the newspaper's headquarters were all here. Lumin had read in a newspaper that the average rent in this district was 4,000 Vril d'Or annually. Noticing the empty carriages, Lumin lowered his voice and said, Is Mr. K hosting a gathering on Avenue de Boulevard? Always, Asta said. Psychic and Arcane have their headquarters on Arcane de Boulevard as well. I sure know how to hide things, Lumin thought. Just before 8:50, Asta led Lumin into the 6-story base luxury house at 19 Rue Shear. This is Psychic Magazine's headquarters, but they only occupy the top 3 floors. Asta didn't ascend the stairs, but turned right into a corridor on the ground floor. Only then did he inform Lumin, Mr. K wishes to see you beforehand. Okay. Asta produced an iron-colored mask and smiled. It's time to disguise yourself. You can't let everyone see your true appearance. In the next moment, Lumin looked up, his face shrouded in layers of white bandages, leaving only his eyes, nostrils, and ears exposed. Upon seeing this, Asta's heart nearly skipped a beat. Okay, you know what? Let's end it at 39 to... actually, let's see. Let's see if 39 is a good, decent place to end it. If not, we'll do... If 39 is a decent place to end it, we'll end it here. If not, we'll do 40. Within moments, Asta, who had been on the verge of a complaint, managed to smile. Quite the menacing sight. That's a classic look in literature, Lumion said. Asta said nothing, opting to don his mask instead. Taking a few steps forward, he halted and knocked on the door. 2 long pauses, 1 short long pause, and 1 long pause. Within seconds, the door creaked open. The first thing Lumion saw was a plush, pale yellow carpet, followed by classical-styled chairs, tables, and sofas. A figure stood in the shadows, cast by the gas wall lamps near the floor-to-ceiling windows. Like Asta Truhl, he wore black robes of an ancient warlock, complete with a large hood. Lumion couldn't help but think, can you even see the person in front of you like this? Mr. K, CL has arrived, Asta said. With a clang, the door shut behind him. Why do you wish to attend our gathering? Mr. K asked. For formula potions, characteristics, mystical items, and mystical knowledge. It's not like it's for the love. It's not like it's for love or faith, right? Lumion said and chuckled. I know, that's not what you want to hear, but it doesn't matter. I don't mind telling you. In a catastrophe brought on by my beyonder powers, I lost my entire family, Lumion said. Not only did it cause me immense pain, but it made me realize that those orthodox gods can't save us. From that day on, I sought power and a way to forget all my pain. I wish to find a way to become powerful. I wanted those who brought me misfortune to experience the same. The hooded Mr. K seemed to stare at Lumion without interruption. As for Asta Truhl, he was visibly shook. CL's words revealed raw, unmasked pain. Once Lumion finished speaking, Mr. K nodded. There are 2 rules for participating. Second, don't attempt to follow other participants. What the fuck is the first one? Only these 2? Lumion didn't expect so few constraints. Why the fuck do I... Why is there only 1? It said there are 2 rules for participating. Second, don't attempt to follow the other participants. What is this? I don't know why he would use the bad voice acting. He's telling the truth mostly. First rule is not attacking directly. So, like, don't directly attack other members of the gathering? Is that it? He didn't need to think hard to spot several loopholes immediately. Not attacking directly. Does that mean I can use provoke to incite the other party to death? Just because I don't attempt to follow doesn't mean I can't do anything else to target. Is selling fake ingredients, fake formulas, characteristics, and items allowed? Lumion suppressed his urge and nodded. Okay. As he responded, he felt Mr. K's gaze upon him, scrutinizing every inch of his flesh. It made him feel like he was in the sights of a snake. Mr. K continued, if you prefer not to disclose what you have and what you're after, you can write down your desired transaction in advance, and my attendant will copy it onto a portable blackboard for all to see. This has to be the... I feel like the one that Mr. A used to run in, that Force went to was like done the exact same way. This has to be of the Aurora Order. Mr. K is of course kind of if you don't think it matters, you can make the request on the spot. Likewise, at the gathering, you can complete transactions through my attendant or directly. Remember, transactions carry risks. I can't guarantee authenticity of materials, items, or information. Of course, you can opt to pay to notarize them. Notary's power. Lumion recalled Sequence 6 of the Sun Pathway. Lumion suspected Mr. K might not be a notary, but possesses a specific item, since it mainly belongs to the Church of EBS. Lumion asked, may I write down my requirements now? Mr. K nodded. Write them here, and my attendant will collect them. Lumion approached a brown desk and started writing. I possess a damaged beyonder weapon, seeking someone capable of repairing it. Price negotiable. Buying information on a peculiar creature, a female-looking entity suspected to be a spirit body, has long turquoise hair that envelops its body and exudes an alluring aura. It can induce erotic dreams with itself as its central figure. Additional details unknown. Reward depends on value of information, ranging from 10 to 100 Vraldor. Lumen considered adding a third point about a provoker's acting experience, but decided against it. He remembered Aurora mentioning acting techniques and the law of characteristic convergence. Of course, and the fact that acting was not specifically known. Of course, Lumen didn't think of it as a pretense. He genuinely was a novice who had entered the Beyonderworld following a disaster and sought more knowledge and resources. However, his involvement in the original disaster was at quite a high level. Having set down the pen and paper, Lumen left with Asta and entered a room at the end of the corridor. The room appeared to be a saloon. Sofas, chairs, a round table, a coffee table, bar stools, and other furnishings arranged casually. Several gathering attendees had already arrived. Some wore black robes and hoods, others donned clown or devil makeup. For a moment, Lumen felt as if he had encountered a masquerade ball. Do you think the people wearing clown makeup are like acting their clown potion, and the people wearing like devil makeup are acting their devil potions? It would probably do very little, but like very little is better than nothing. And specifically, it wouldn't confirm or deny anything either. It's like, okay, I might be a clown, okay? Lumen chose a bar stool, almost tempted to order a glass of absinthe to complete the look. Soon enough, Mr. K entered and settled into an armchair reserved for the organizer. The first thing Lumen noticed was a request for characteristic. Warrior Pathway, Sequence 8, Pugilist characteristic, 15,000 Vraldor. What's 8 for 15,000? Just killed Margot, Sequence 8 of the Hunter Path. Playing it safe, Lumen had harassed Margot until the Mosseri Ghost attacked, leaving the battlefield early. While he gained over 1,000 Vraldor from the Fate Exchange, it paled in comparison to the worth of the characteristic. But Lumen pulled himself together. Wait, 15,000 Vraldor. He said it's 24 to 1. 625. Currencies. The characteristic seems pretty stable as a form of exchange. Good. Oh my god. You think like high level, I'm gonna say high, but like, you know, mid sequence beyonders of like a sequence 5, for example, like powerhouses in their own right, are like just walking around from country to country, just like having like a bag of like 3 or 4 characteristics, and they're like, do I got money? Nah, but like I got a whole lot of money though. Lumen then examined the other transaction details. 1 Elf's Dark Leaf, 180 Vraldor. 2 pages of Roselle's original diary, 300 Vraldor. Oh wait, we can't even read Roselle's diary because this dumb bitch can't read Cantonese or Mandarin or some shit. Plague, come on. Dude, you gotta remember, fucking Gehrman Sparrow at the end of Volume 3, at the like peak of like his holy shit, Gehrman is like wanted by everybody, was a sequence 5. You gotta like, and Klein wasn't exactly wanting for characteristics at that point. You gotta remember, Klein was just like sequence 9s and 8s. I'm not even gonna pick him up. It's not worth the hassle. Gehrman was built different though. Gehrman was built kind of different, but like most marionettists could do what Gehrman did. Hold on. Most marionettists could do most of what Gehrman did. Hold on. Now, obviously, there's some specific things that he has access to as the fool and stuff, but like most of his targets, I feel like he could have gotten away with. Obviously, a lot of his aura came from like, yo, the fucking king of the seas or whatever, or the just literally bowed down when Gehrman showed up because Gehrman had a fucking colleague who just made the fucking king of the 5 seas just shit his pants. So like obviously like that stuff, obviously no one else is doing. Sequence 6, Baron of Corruption, formula 65,000 Vraldor? Lumen scanned the list and understood why Aurora was so extravagant with her spending. Let's begin, Mr. K said. His attendants read the entries one by one. Some went unanswered, while others were discreetly finalized. Lumion observed quietly, intending on familiarizing himself with the situation. Soon, as the gathering neared its end, the portable blackboard by the attendant finally announced Lumion's first request. Silence ensued. After more than 10 seconds, a man in the corner snickered. Most of those skilled in restoring items and weapons are found in the God of Steam and Machinery's church. Try looking there. Ignoring the unfunny remark, Mr. K's attendant relayed Lumion's second request. Everyone else looked bewildered. This creature was news to them. Just then, a man joked, this brings something to mind. Here's a freebie. When the Srenzo River meets the Rhine River, there's a town called Onnet. Many middle-class Trier folk enjoy sailing and swimming there. Last year, or maybe a little earlier, 3 consecutive female deaths occurred. They died of weakness from overindulgence with no known partners, secrets, or otherwise. Their only shared trait was telling friends about a vivid, alluring dream they had had recently. Okay. We can definitely finish, in 10 minutes, so fuck it. We'll just do 140, because mama ain't raised no bitch. That's what I say. And besides, you know what? Tommy's been doubting me a little too much recently. Like, hey, can you do a long stream today? Yeah, I'm like, what's a long stream? 8 chapters? Okay, no problem. 8 chapters? Easy. 8 chapters in an hour and a half. Oh, so good. And the situation bears a resemblance to Charlie's case, but with a crucial difference. The victim are women. Charlie's a man. Is he? Who knows? Could it be that the strange entity believed to be Susanna Matisse isn't constrained by gender? Or is there a male counterpart? The latter seems more probable, given that the 3 victims in Onnet were all female and no males. Yeah, there are distinctions between the 3 women and Charlie. None of them had a partner, either openly or secretly. And Charlie had become Alice's lover not long after invoking Susanna Matisse. If that hadn't happened, would they have met the same fate as the 3 victims, drained of overindulgence? Had Madame Alice been a superficial substitute, or had that merely been the beginning? Plague, if you're walking around with sequence 9 and 8 characteristics, the amount of convergence there is minimal. It's way overshadowed by the fact that you yourself are walking around as a sequence 5. Had Alice been a sacrificial ritual? Or is that merely the beginning? Lumion pieced together a theory based on the information that had been provided by the man. He had hoped the authorities would take this case seriously. As for whether the authorities would suspect Beyonders hiding among Charlie's friends due to the letter, Lumion wasn't concerned. He had obscured Charlie's information and circumstances in the letter, even inserting small mistakes in seemingly insignificant details. The writer appeared to harbor a deep grudge against Susanna Matisse, having tracked her for a long time, using Charlie's situation to gain revenge. Yeah, but Klein didn't keep them in Sephora Castle because he was concerned about about convergence rather. He kept them in Sephora Castle just because of the of them being stolen and because he got attacked all the time, so he just didn't want to have it there. And secondly, it's just why would you not keep it in a, that's like saying oh, you keep it in your inventory and not in your offhand at all times. Yeah, I keep almost everything in my inventory. I don't keep shit in my offhand. Another attendant introduced, this is a painting from a friend of our participants. He was a fellow Beyonder who met an untimely and bizarre end 2 months ago. Before his death, he created this masterpiece. The oil painting was a riot of vivid colors, weaving a surreal and mesmerizing scene. Towering green weeds reached for the heavens, and a gray sun lay hidden in a well. A blood-red river cascaded from the sky, a shadowy figure danced, and a skull coalesced into clouds. The attendant who had introduced the painting elaborated. Plague. Okay. Sequence 5. Sequence 5 is Anderson. Anderson, the strongest hunter of the 5 Cs, is a sequence 5. Him having 2 sequence 9s and a sequence 8 characteristic is not crazy. Think about how many fucking low sequence bandits Anderson could catch in a week. Just realistically, like, Anderson just walks into a bar. He could walk out with 3 characteristics. Oh, if the fog see, fine. Fucking fine. Like, that's just true. I'm sorry, that's just true. Anderson could walk into a bar to get a drink and just walk out with 3 characteristics and a drink. It wouldn't even... What are 2 sequence 9s and a sequence 8 gonna do to him? I'm not saying he was, but I'm saying, like, if he wanted to keep, like, a store of value that was kind of immune to, like, currency fluctuation, because I just deal with investments all day, so this is where my brain is at all fucking day, like, characteristics would be pretty decent, because, like, they're at least between Intes and Loan, they're carrying their value pretty good, you know? Merely glancing at the painting, Lumion felt disoriented. This artwork bears a potent psychic imprint, affects the minds of all who view it, inducing confusion and vertigo to varying degrees. Prolonged exposure could even result in mental illnesses. According to the letters and diary entries left by the painting's creator, it may hold clues to the essence of reality and the essence of mysticism. Fine, play. If he creates them into items, he can then sell the items. Fine. At that point, you're just turning a thing into another thing, but they're both like... That's like saying, like, oh, I wouldn't walk around with 5 apples, you idiot. I would just bake it into a pie. Fine, fucking fine. The apples are in a fucking pie, then fine. Whatever. According to the letter and diary entries left by the painting's creator, it may hold clues to the essence of reality and the origins of mysticism. This could also be the key to understanding the true nature of his strange demise. Any participants interested in studying the painting? Why would you sell something like that? I wouldn't offer it even if you gave it to me for free, Lumion thought. He wanted nothing to do with that thing. As Aurora once said, one shouldn't look at or study things one shouldn't know. It was apparent that most of the gathering participants were reluctant to spend money on such a foreboding painting. Ultimately, Mr. K's attendants put it away. That painting's gonna come in is gonna be very important in 180 chapters. Following that, the gathering transitioned into an open discussion stage. Attendees engaged in casual conversation about rumors and legends. At 10:15, Mr. K declared the gathering over. You gotta remember, Okamin, you're so spot on. I remember when Klein got to sequence 5, he said, I am now a powerhouse in my own right. And that's absolutely true. Like, I was like, at that time, I was like, powerhouse is a big fucking word, buddy. But, like, no, he absolutely was. Like, Klein as a marionettist was like, oh, I gotta kill a mob boss. He's surrounded by 5 of his bodyguards in a busy, crowded hall. Okay, I'm gonna kill him in front of his bodyguards, and they're not even gonna know nothing happened. No, all of you, look at him. Look at him. He's sitting there. He's happily chilling. Oh, he's a marionette. Get fucked. What? At 10:15, Lumion detected the organizer sizing him up, scrutinizing him. Will he send someone to follow and investigate me? Lumion thought. Rather than being concerned, he was eager. Instead, aside from occasionally summoning a messenger, his behavior was unremarkable. As long as he refrained from contacting Madame Magician, Lumion believed Mr. K would soon receive an almost entirely truthful report. CL, a wild beyonder lacking common sense in many areas, was suspected to hail from Cordoue and sought Guillaume Benet and his associates. He is also a wanted man. In this scenario, if Lumion demonstrated his skills and extreme attitude, it wouldn't be long before he received an invitation from Mr. K to join his ranks and become a part of the organization behind him. Sometimes, inadvertently, revealing one's vulnerability in circumstances was an effective means of gaining trust. Realistically, Okamin, I think like demigod and above are like involved with demigod shit. Like, they become so outclass sequence 5s and below that, like, unless a sequence 5 for whatever or below for whatever reason is just like really in the mood of fucking with a demigod, like, they don't even bother paying them any mind. They're like, just, you literally can do nothing. Just like fucking leave me alone. Don't even look at me. Okay, you're just fucking nothing. So, like, sequence 5s are, like, insanely strong. Because, like, unless you run into a fucking walking nuclear arsenal, basically, which is a fucking demigod or above, sequence 5s are goated. Again, a captain of the fucking Nighthawks is a sequence 7, bro. 7. A magician is a fucking captain. A marionettist would, like, kill, I don't know, 50 magicians in a night? In this scenario, if Lumion demonstrated his skills and extreme attitude, it wouldn't be long before he received an invitation from Mr. K to join his ranks and become a part of the organization behind him. Sometimes, inadvertently, revealing one's vulnerabilities and circumstances is an effective means of gaining trust. Wow! Being truthful gains you trust? Crazy. With that, Lumion and Asta found a concealed corner in 19 Rue Shear where they removed their disguises. As he made his way to Rue Anarchy, Lumion's brow furrowed. No one was tailing him. Is it because Mr. K has no plans to investigate me, or the person shadowing me is so skilled that I genuinely can't find them? In any case, he didn't fear it, unless Mr. K was in leagues with the Poison Spur mob. Upon entering Auberge de Côte d'Or, Lumion noted that he was still early. He crossed the now pristine lobby and descended into the basement. Dunn was stronger than a regular sequence. He might have been like almost a sequence 6. Before he could take in the scene, Charlie's exuberant voice reached his ears. Can you believe it? Just 3 hours ago, I was accused of murder. Now I'm sitting here drinking with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an experience like no other. None of you can top it. He leapt onto the table, a beer in hand, and addressed the patrons. His hair was disheveled as if it hadn't been tended to in days. Already? Lumion thought. Spotting Lumion, he waved, I will share that an even stranger encounter with you all later. Donning a linen shirt and black pants, he hopped off the table, took a seat beside Lumion, and said, A glass of absinthe, thank you. This one's on me, he said. Lumion accepted the offer with a calm smile. Did Dunn have multiple artifacts? Obviously, I know he had a shit ton of characteristics because he was just fucking eating everybody. He's like, Dunn is like salivating at the mouth, waiting for his fucking comrades to die so that he can get more characteristics. You're looking pretty good, Lumion said. Of course, I don't have to worry about being hanged. I'd hate for thousands to gather around me as I die, considering how nobody around me cared when I lived, Charlie said. Yeah, but he didn't carry most of them. He never carried one on. I don't think he had any characteristics on him like all the time. Like, he didn't have a personal one that he bought or had all the time. I feel like every time he had one, he had to like go get it from China's Gate. Trier citizens reveled in witnessing the execution of death row inmates. The streets would overflow with onlookers whenever an execution was happening. In the classic era before Rizal, there even existed a custom centered around this fascination. En route from the prison to the gallows, if any bystanders agreed to marry the condemned, the sentence would be commuted, reduced, or absolved even. Are you completely fine? Lumion asked. I can't divulge the specifics. I signed a notarized pledge. I can't imagine how powerful. The only downside is that I've lost my job. That blasted foreman thinks I've tarnished the hotel's image. No matter, I'll pawn the diamond necklace tomorrow. The officers have already returned it to me. That money will tide me over for a time. I will treat the cafe waiters on Rue de Bleu Blanche to drinks and find a better job. Let's go together when the time comes. But recalling CL's nerves, he decided not to add that part. Once certain that the noise around him was sufficient to drown out their conversation and that no one was listening, Lumion asked, has the situation with Susanna been resolved? No. They did a lot of things, but I couldn't tell you, Charlie said. Did they promise to provide protection for a time? I'll tell you. Seems like there is. Lumion smiled. If they hadn't promised protection, the corresponding words wouldn't have existed and wouldn't be restricted. Charlie hadn't expected CL to guess. Did they tell you anything else? Share what you can. Charlie pondered and said they told me not to panic. If I have that dream again, I'm to head to the nearest cathedral at dawn, after dawn. You don't know about the EBS cathedral, do you? I'm now a true believer of the EBS. Lumion expressionly raised his right hand and traced a triangle. After drinking with Charlie, Lumion returned to his room and continued studying Aurora's grimoire. He washed up before midnight and drifted to a sleep. Bang, 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 bang! Lumion was jolted awake by the knocking on his door. What the fuck is it? Lumion gripped Fallen Mercury and approached the door. But it was Charlie outside. I dreamt of that woman again! Why would you walk around with them? Why would you not? Oh, I'm sorry. You wouldn't walk around with a fucking great item to give you more power? You wouldn't walk around with a, maybe not a sealed artifact, but like a Beyonder weapon or something? You wouldn't walk around? Oh, fuck you. Yeah, you would. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, 140 as promised. I was like 12 minutes late, a little late, but in general, pretty good timing. Dare I say an hour and 42 minutes for, 8 chapters? It's pretty fucking good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, have yourselves a great rest of your day or nights, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. Oh, Chris, feel better, buddy. Bye.